Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to this video series on cryptocurrency, Lightning Network, Transport and Routing. All communications between LN nodes are encrypted point to point. In addition, nodes have a long-term public key that they use as an identifier to authenticate each other. Whenever a node wishes to send a payment to another node, it must first construct a path through a network by connecting payment channels with sufficient capacity. Nodes advertise routing information, including what channels they have open, how much capacity each channel has, and what fees they charge to route payments. The routing information can be shared in a variety of ways, and different routing protocols are likely to emerge as Lightning Network technology advances. Some Lightning Network implementations use the IRC protocol as a convenient mechanism for nodes to announce routing information. Another implementation of route discovery uses a P2P model where nodes propagate channel announcements to their peers. In a flooding model similar to how Bitcoin propagates transactions, future plans include a proposal called Flare, which is a hybrid routing model with local node neighborhoods and longer range beacon nodes. In our previous example, Alice's node uses one of these route discovery mechanisms to find one or more paths connecting her node to Eric's node. Once Alice's node has constructed a path, she will initialize that path throughout the network by propagating a series of encrypted and nested instructions to connect each of the adjacent payment channels. Importantly, this path is only known to Alice's node. All other participants in the payment route see only the adjacent nodes. From Carl's perspective, this looks like a payment from Bob to Diana. Carl does not know that Bob is actually relaying a payment from Alice. She also doesn't know that Diana will be relaying a payment to Eric. This is a critical feature of the Lightning Network because it ensures privacy of payment and makes it very difficult to apply surveillance, censorship or blacklists. But how does Alice establish this payment path without revealing anything to the intermediary nodes? The Lightning Network implements an onion route protocol based on a scheme called Sphinx. This routing protocol ensures that a payment sender can construct and communicate a path through the Lightning Network such that intermediate nodes can verify and decrypt their portion of route information and find the next hop. Other than the previous and next hops, they cannot learn about any other nodes that are part of the path. They cannot identify the length of the payment path or their own position in that path. Each part of their path is encrypted in such a way that a network level attacker cannot associate the packets from different parts of the path to each other. Unlike Tor and onion routed anonymization protocol on the internet, there are no exit nodes that can be placed under surveillance. The payments do not need to be transmitted to the Bitcoin blockchain. The nodes just update channel balances. Using this onion routed protocol, Alice wraps each element of the path in a layer of encryption. Starting with the end and working backwards, she encrypts a message to Eric with Eric's public key. This message is wrapped in a message encrypted to Diana, identifying Eric as the next recipient. The message to Diana is wrapped in a message encrypted to Carl's public key and identifying Diana as the next recipient. The message to Carl is encrypted to Bob's key. Thus, Alice has constructed this encrypted multi-layer onion of messages. She sends this to Bob, who can only decrypt and unwrap the outer layer. Inside, Bob finds a message addressed to Carl that he can forward to Carl but cannot decipher himself. Following the path, the messages get forwarded, decrypted, forwarded, etc., all the way to Eric. Each participant only knows only the previous and next node in each hop. Each element of the path contains information on the HTLC that must be extended to the next hop, the amount that is being sent, the fee to include, and the CLTV lock time in blocks expiration of the HTLC. As the route information propagates, the nodes make HTLC commitments forward to the next hop. At this point, you might be wondering, how is it possible that the nodes do not know the length of the path and their destination in the path? After all, they receive a message and forward it to the next hop. Doesn't it get shorter, allowing them to deduce the path size and their position? To prevent this, the path is always fixed at 20 hops and padded with random data. Each node sees the next hop and a fixed length encrypted message to forward. Only the final recipient sees that there is no next hop. To everyone else, it seems as if there are only 20 more hops to go. Lightning Network benefits. A Lightning Network is a second layer routing technology. It can be applied to any blockchain that supports some basic capabilities such as multi-signature transactions, time locks, and basic smart contracts. If a Lightning Network is layered on top of the Bitcoin network, the Bitcoin network can gain a significant increase in capacity, privacy, granularity, and speed without sacrificing the principles of trustless operation without intermediaries. Privacy. Lightning Network payments are much more private than payments on the Bitcoin blockchain, as they are not public. While participants in a route can see payments propagated across their channels, they do not know the sender or recipient. Fungibility. A Lightning Network makes it much more difficult to apply surveillance and blacklists on Bitcoin, increasing the fungibility of the currency. Speed. Bitcoin transactions using Lightning Network are settled in milliseconds rather than minutes, as HTLCs are cleared without committing transactions to a block. Granularity. A Lightning Network can enable payments as least as small as the Bitcoin dust limit, perhaps even smaller. Some proposals allow for sub-Satoshi increments. Capacity. A Lightning Network increases the capacity of the Bitcoin system by several orders of magnitude. There is no particular upper bound to the number of payments per second that can be routed over a Lightning Network, and it depends only on the capacity and speed of each node. Trustless Operation. A Lightning Network uses Bitcoin transactions between nodes that operate as peers without trusting each other. Thus, a Lightning Network perceives the principles of the Bitcoin system while expanding its operating parameters significantly. Of course, mentioned previously, the Lightning Network protocol is not the only way to implement routed payment channels. Other proposed systems include Tumblebit and T-Chan. At this time, however, the Lightning Network has already been deployed on testnet. Several different teams have developed competing implementations of LN and are working towards a common interoperability standard called BOLT. It is likely that the Lightning Network will be the first routed payment channel network to be deployed in production. So this concludes my video series on cryptocurrency. So I hope you enjoyed it. So if you like this video, please consider like, sharing and subscribing. Thank you.